this bitch on silent. Hi, my name is Adriana and today I will be doing the end of year book tag. I cannot believe it is already November. I also cannot believe November is already considered late for a tag called end of year book tag, but you know, we're here, we're doing it. This should be a pretty short little tag, just kind of wrapping up, I guess, the third quarter. Third quarter wrapped up a while ago. But you know, we're here, we're doing it. We're gonna call it close enough. Question number 1 is, are there any books you started that you need to finish by the end of the year? I don't really stop reading books unless I have like a really good reason. So I don't have anything that I started reading and then need to finish reading. I just start a book, finish a book, move on to the next book, so I'm good there. Question number 2 is, do you have any autumnal books that you will be transitioning into the end of the year? I recently released my TBR for November and December, but one of those books that I think definitely fits more of an autumnal theme than a winter theme is Burn by Patrick Ness. I don't know, it's got like the red and orange cover, which I just feels very autumn. Fantasy is always kind of a fall theme for me. And then of course it takes place in a fictional town in Washington. And I just think the Pacific Northwest just kind of exudes fall. Like that's when this area thrives, is fall time. So I think this will be a kind of good little transition from peak fall into winter. Question number 3 is, are there any end of the year releases that you're still waiting on? Technically both of these books are going to be released in 2022, but they were supposed to be released in 2021 and I am still waiting on them. And those are both James Rowland's books, the first of which being Kingdom of Bones, the 15th installment in the Sigma 4 series. This is a long-going series of spy thrillers that I have been reading since high school, and originally I think this one was supposed to be published in like April of this year. Then it just kept being pushed back further and further, and I think the reason of that is my other anticipated release, which is the Starless Crown by James Rowland, which is a scientific fantasy. I'm interested to see how he pulls that off. It's supposed to be a very science-based fantasy world, so I'm so excited to check that out since I have learned, you know, all of the science stuff he's put into it, but that has now been pushed to early January of 2022, and I think originally that one was supposed to be released in like November, December time. So hopefully those come out when they're supposed to at this point, but I am waiting on bated breath for both of these. Question number 4 is, what are 3 books that you need to read by the end of the year? I had mentioned earlier that I had released my TBR for the rest of the year, but in case you missed that, I will go over the 3 books. Technically, my dog picked 4 books, but I already covered one of those. That was Burn. But I will go over the last books that my dog picked for me. The first of which being Daughter of Sparta. This is a Daphne and Apollo retelling that I think has been, you know, updated with some more feminist themes. So I'm definitely excited to be checking that out soon. I will also be reading Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I did not read House on the Cerulean Sea, but I know TJ Klune has a huge following and I've heard so many good things about this book and so many people are telling me I need to read it, so I will definitely be fitting this in by the end of the year. And then the third one I will be picking up is This Poison Heart. This was an earlier release of 2021. I think it sounds super cool. I believe it's a YA fantasy. I don't know. I go into all my books so blind, but this is another one that I will be getting to before the end of the year. The 5th question is, do you still think there's a book left that you will be reading by the end of the year that could become your new favorite of the year? And I think I have some really great reads upcoming through the rest of the year. I just think it's really hard to beat out Midnight Library for me. I read that this year. It was my favorite book. I have a hard copy of it. I haven't been able to show it in like any of my videos because I keep lending it out to people. I made my best friend read it. I made my dad read it. I'm making my sister read it. Like I love that book. I think everyone should read it. So I would be very surprised if any of these books beat it out, but I do think I have some 5-star reads ahead of me before the end of the year. I just don't think any of them are gonna beat out Midnight Library. Number 6 is, have you started making reading plans for 2022? Tentatively. I recently bought Cloud Cuckoo Land in a book haul from Powell's, and I really would like to try to get to this at the beginning of the year next year. It's very thick, so I'm just gonna, start off at the beginning of the year, just take my time, slowly work my way through it. Some other books that I would like to get through is, I really want to read the Poppy War trilogy. And again, I think I just need to, give myself some time to get through those. Those are, again, big books. I think 2022 is going to be the year of big chunky books for me. Except for every year I try to set myself the goal of reading at least one classic book or something considered to be a classic. This year it was Dune. Last year was Brave New World, which can't remember what I did 3 years ago. Did I read one 3 years ago? Now I gotta check. Otherwise it will drive me crazy. Oh, 3 years ago I read East of Eden, so yes. So yeah, like I said, I try to read at least one classic every year. I think now that I'm reading a bit more, I might try to up that to like 2. But I really want to check out Ernest Hemingway's books. I will be doing something, hopefully Ernest Hemingway, next year. And then I think because I want to dedicate some more time to big chunky books like this and like Poppy War, I think even though I'm, on track to read 60 books this year, I think I'm going to make my reading goal for next year about 45 books. I think a big part of what allowed me to get to 60 books this year is I've been listening to a ton of audiobooks on my way to work, but now me and my partner drive to work together, so we typically just listen to like a podcast or music on that drive, so I think that's going to limit some of my reading time and my ability to get to those higher numbers, as well as dedicating the time it takes to read, something big like this and some epic type fantasy like the Poppy War, and giving the works of Hemingway the time they need to be fully appreciated. So I think 45 is gonna be my goal. That's about 3-ish books. No. That's a little less than 4 books. I can do math. Yikes. That's a little less than 4 books a month. So I think I can hopefully stick to that. We shall see. So that is the end of this tag. This is one of those tags that everybody just kind of does, so I don't think I'm going to tag anybody. But thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.